What happens if your home is destroyed? All the things you've prepared for is completely destroyed. We've talked about a big earthquake. We've talked about a lot of natural disasters, and some of these could completely destroy all your best laid plans being in your home. Recently, we talked about the big earthquake that could happen along the American West Coast and how there would be a major 9.0 earthquake followed by a major tsunami. If you live in an area that's likely to be affected by this, you should find out. Everybody lives in different places, in different situations, different elevations in this case, so that's up to you to find out if you are in a tsunami zone or not. You can search your area on the internet to find that out. But assuming that you are, you need to do a little bit different or extra preparations to people in Iowa, for example. You need to not only be prepared for the society or city around you to be destroyed, but everything in your home to be destroyed as well. You need to be prepared to flee, as opposed to a lot of disasters that I talk about, like any kind of attacks from other countries, like an EMP or a solar flare or whatever. You might be fixing to stay inside your home and defend that. But in this situation, your home is likely to be destroyed, and you're going to be what you can carry on your back. And you have to be able to get that quick and get out quick to an evacuation point. If you live in a high risk area, it's likely the government has signs and things set up to show you the way and the route to an evacuation point in the event of a tsunami. But you should also have a number of alternative routes figured out for yourself. You want to get to high ground, so look up elevation maps in your area. How many minutes does it take you to round up your pets and get them in the car? Or can you carry your pets if you have to? If not, and you live in those areas, are you prepared to leave them behind when the tsunami comes, or what is your plan? Figure that out now where you're calm and you can have a plan to follow. And that's the big point here, is have a plan before the disaster strikes so you can spend less time thinking and trying to figure it out and honestly making mistakes because you're panicked, and more time surviving, right? And focusing on what you already know you need to do because you have a plan, step by step by step, almost like autopilot if you need it to be. That way you can set aside some of the fear and the emotions and just rely on that preparedness, that planning to see you through. And that applies for emergency preparedness across the board. But certainly in some situations like this, where you're going to have a very narrow window of time to act, the planning ahead of time is absolutely essential. Don't rely on being able to get your car to safety. You may be on foot, but also have supplies in your car and on a bag you can carry with you in case you get separated, but you might end up with the stuff in your car, and that could be a big help. Make sure you have a tent or some form of shelter you can carry. Ways to filter water, food. I'd recommend carrying ways to filter and create water as opposed to carrying a ton of water and then carrying food in that place, because that's going to be harder to get than to filter water in most situations. Get prepared.